most of all. Wind gusts up to 30 miles per hour are expected today, and windy conditions are really going to pick up around noon. We do anticipate the possibility of a shower later this afternoon. Otherwise, it's a cloudy day, and again, a high of 78. For tomorrow, we crank up to 85 with a partly cloudy sky. Currently, it's cloudy. It's 71 in St. Peter's, 71 in Florissant, 71 degrees downtown at the Arch at 10:05.
From KMOX Sports, this is the Gray Bar Sports on a Sunday morning. Gray Bar, your distributor for electrical and datacom needs. Now from the Stifel Financial Sports Studio, here is Tom Ackerman.
Welcome to Masters Sunday. A beautiful day in Augusta. Tom Ackerman with you. It is going to be an amazing day today. I cannot wait to take in Masters Sunday, one of my favorite days on the sports calendar, and I have made the decision that I'm going to pursue looking at going to the Masters next year. I just feel like I've been talking about this my entire life. I've been watching this my entire life. I remember when I was 10 years old, about to turn 11, and Jack Nicklaus was 46, and he rolled in a putt on the 17th green that we've seen 1,000 times, and I just can't get enough of the Masters. I watched Tiger Woods win it. I've discussed it on KMOX and the KMOX Golf Show with Dan Reardon for years. And he's joining us here in about 5 minutes, 10 minutes. I got to get there. I'm going to figure it out. And I know you probably feel that way about sports. You know, what is your bucket list item? What is the one thing that you've always dreamed of trying to attend? And I've been fortunate in this job to be able to do a lot of great things, but that's one that's hanging out there for me is I just want to find a way to get there. So I'm going to figure that out. We also have the great venue downtown called Busch Stadium. And I always keep it in mind that there are a lot of people in this country who try to make it to the great ballparks, the gems, and they do consider our place an absolute gem. And I really look forward to that. I think that every time I go to the ballpark, every single time I go to the ballpark, I think that this could be somebody's first time. And I always keep that in mind. I always look around to see if I can identify who is there for the first time, taking in our fine ballpark, Busch Stadium in downtown St. Louis. Unfortunately for them yesterday, if they stayed around till the ninth inning, they saw something that none of us want to see, which is a bullpen implosion. It was a very difficult one to take in. The first great thing that happened, of course, was Jordan Walker launching a home run, another one, his 6th of the year. And that is the co-lead in Major League Baseball. But unfortunately, this one did not end all that well. Here are our broadcasters with the very latest.
The Redbird Recap is sponsored by Helitech Waterproofing and Foundation Repair. Heal your home with Helitech.
With Ricky Orton, I'm John Rooney, and last night at Busch Stadium, the Cardinals just really couldn't get anything going on offense. Ranger Suarez handcuffed them, 6 shutout innings. Kyle Leahy gave up a couple of runs in 4 innings, but the Red Sox were able to win going away 7-1.
They came up with a big last inning against Matt Swanson, who was not sharp. One positive is that Jordan Walker hit yet another home run, straightaway center field, and it was a bomb.
And the Cardinals, with Matt Swanson struggling, giving up 5 runs in the 9th inning. Made some progress on the road trip, but took a step back.
No, it was a tough outing for him, and the Cardinals are going to need him down the road.
Andre Pallante today as the Cardinals try to win 2 out of 3 and win another home series.
And I would say Pallante's been as solid as anybody. He's been mixing his pitches well, changing speeds well.
And he'll be opposed by right-hander Brian Bayo. We're on the air at 12:20. Ricky has the lineups at 1:05. I'll bring you the first pitch at 1:15.
Okay, gentlemen, we look forward to that. KMOX is the home of Cardinal baseball. We are also the home right down the hall of St. Louis City SC. Y98 carries those games. And City earned another point on the road yesterday. 1-1 draw against FC Dallas at Toyota Stadium. The match remained scoreless through the first half. Dallas scored 2 minutes into the second half. City outshot Dallas 5-3 and found the equalizer through Timo Baumgartel in the 61st minute. Baumgartel with his first career MLS goal. I believe we're going to be saying that a lot this season with some of these younger players. Baumgartel's been around a little longer than some. A first career MLS goal, Daniel Edelman recorded his team-leading third assist of the season, and that extends St. Louis's unbeaten streak to 3 matches as they earn another road point. We're going to talk to the sporting director, Corey Wray, at 11:15. That's coming up next hour as City will begin its U.S. Open Cup journey this Wednesday at Energizer Park. That might not be on your radar if you're just following MLS games, but this Wednesday at 7 o'clock Central, they'll face USL Championship side FC Tulsa at Energizer Park and then travel to take on Seattle in MLS regular season play on Saturday. So Wednesday, Saturday, busy week for St. Louis City SC. The Blues won 5-3 over the Blackhawks in Chicago. However, they were eliminated from playoff contention earlier in the day after that Oilers-Kings game. So it's over for the Blues officially for the playoffs. Interestingly, they could end up with some really nice draft picks. The Detroit Red Wings have been eliminated as well, and so their pick in that Justin Falk deal could look really nice. So, we'll see. We'll kind of break that down for you. We'll hold that until 10:45 this morning when we break all that down. But I got to tell you, the Blues could end up in a really good position here for the future. Denver has the national championship in college hockey. I watched the Frozen Four championship a little bit last night between the Cardinals-Red Sox game, and this Denver team actually got dominated for a good portion of the game by Wisconsin and still won. Kind of tells you how good their coach is, David Carl. He is pretty great. He's going to end up kind of having his pick of whatever NHL job he wants, I think. He's a really, really good coach. But Denver does it again, beating Wisconsin last night to win the national championship in college hockey. We're going to take a break. We're going to catch up with Dan Reardon. Can't wait for this. Go down to Augusta, where our KMOX senior golf editor is standing by. It's a co-lead at the top of the leaderboard. We'll tell you what happened to Rory McIlroy yesterday and who's chasing him right after this. Sports on a Sunday morning from the Stiefel Sports Studio.
Is your home showing symptoms of foundation issues? Your home's wet basement, dingy crawl space, musty smells, cracked walls, or unlevel concrete shouldn't be ignored. Helitech can help. Life happens in your home. You and your family deserve the best. Helitech offers proven solutions in waterproofing, drainage, concrete leveling, and foundation repair services. Contact us for a free inspection at helitechonline.com.
When the water's high, we'll keep your basement dry. Heal your home with Helitech.
As parents, we measure our child's life in firsts, first steps, first words. But for me, the most important was my son's first breath. Because of Cardinal Glennon Children's Hospital, that moment led to so many more. His first laugh, first birthday, the first time he said, "I love you, Mama." Make your pledge for patients today at homersforhealth.org to benefit the devoted fund. Your gift helps build a place where more childhood firsts are possible.
Lifestyles Unlimited wants to help you take control of your financial future. And it starts with real estate. Learn a step-by-step approach to building income. It's the same education that's helped thousands shift how they think about money, wealth, and opportunity. For a limited time, you can join for just $297. Take action today. Text RADIO to 88007. That's RADIO to 88007.
Save big on everything you need for your vehicle at Menards. Good maintenance equals longer vehicle life. And Menards carries automotive products to help keep your vehicle on the road. Protect your engine with Valvoline High Mileage Synthetic Blend Motor Oil. It's proven to maximize engine life in vehicles with 75,000 miles or more. Save big money on Valvoline Motor Oil. Plus, check out our weekly flyer on Menards.com for more great deals happening this week.
Save big money at Menards.
It seems like just yesterday when I captured my son's first steps or when we recorded his soccer games on VHS tapes. Those moments are gone. But the old home movies and pictures don't need to be. That's why my son created Legacy Box.
That's right, Mom. Over 1 million families have used Legacy Box to digitally preserve their old home movies and photos.
Simply fill Legacy Box with your old camcorder tapes, film, and photos. They will professionally digitize and send them back on DVDs, thumb drive, or the cloud.
With Mother's Day around the corner, it's the perfect time to get your legacy box and save your family's history. After all, few things are as important as protecting your precious memories. Give your mom a Mother's Day present she'll never forget. Take advantage of our Mother's Day sale, which starts now. It's our best deal of the year. Save up to 60% off. Visit legacybox.com/radio and for a limited time, get an incredible 60% off your order. That's legacybox.com/radio for 60% off. legacybox.com/radio.
Now, back to the Gray Bar Sports on a Sunday morning on 104.1 KMOX. From the Stifel Financial Sports Studio, here is Tom Ackerman.
One of my favorite things to say on this radio station. Let's go down to Augusta National and join KMOX's Dan Reardon. He is at the final round of the Masters. Dan, we've been doing this for a long time, talking about this great day on the sports calendar. How are you doing?
I'm doing fine. And when you say that, Tom, does it ever disappoint? Do you know an event in sports that delivers the product as faithfully as Augusta National does with the Masters tournament? You have to go back to Danny Willett to find something where it's like, what was that? But we look like we were going to have a blowout on Friday, and we have no idea who's going to win this tournament on Sunday.
We have no idea who's going to win this tournament. I mean, it is a reminder that you don't win the Masters on Friday, nor do you win it on Saturday. You win it on Sunday afternoon. And my goodness, do we have ourselves a Sunday afternoon ahead of us. Cam Young and Rory McIlroy are your lead and final pairing. They are both 11 under for the championship. They will tee off at 1:25 Central Time. And a day ago, McIlroy was obliterating the field by 6. He had a tremendous Friday. Dan, what happened yesterday?
He really did not play as well as he scored on Thursday and Friday, and yesterday caught up to him. He had 51 putts through the first 2 days. He's 25, 26 putts, but he was missing fairways. On the first day, he went through the front 9 and did not hit a green until he got to number 9. And he's continued. In fact, yesterday was the best day of hitting fairways that he's had all week. But he was getting away with golf that wasn't really the top quality golf. And it just caught up to him. And then nobody saw that the entire field would run out to get him. We never know from day to day what kind of course we're going to get. I was talking to Jaime Diaz in the parking lot last night leaving, and Jaime was of the opinion that they're going to throw a challenge at him today, that they're going to make this a little tougher. The conventional wisdom is that on Sunday they set it up for scoring, and I've used that line in the past, but I actually looked it up, and last year on the final round, the Masters played over par for the field. So we don't know what we're going to get today, but Rory found out yesterday that, I asked him on Friday, I said, what would he won the U.S. Open at Congressional when he was leading by 6 at the halfway point. I said, what would Congressional Rory advise this Rory to do on the weekend? How would he protect the lead? And he shot back and said he would tell him, don't protect the lead. And that's the way he's playing the game right now. Don't protect the lead.
Your player's champion, Cam Young, is right there with him at 11 under and looks very confident in his swing, Dan.
He agrees that he has changed. A year ago at this time, he had not won a professional golf tournament on the PGA Tour. And he agrees that over that time period, he's added elements of confidence and belief in parts of his game. And then when he got to the Players' Championship, what impressed me most about him was he was able to make the putts that he needed to make. Guys make birdie putts when, it may be part of the day, but doesn't have a critical feel to it. And I think everybody wanted to see what Cam Young would do on the final run through the hardest golf course that they play annually. And he handled it extremely well. And so this will be the next part of that, okay? It's one thing to be a Players' Champion. It's another thing to be a Masters winner. So we'll see what that is. But let me also say, I've changed my favorite out of these groups now because I looked at the numbers. Sam Burns has played 54 holes, and he has 4 bogeys, and that's it. He's got 50 holes that he's played at par or better. And people forget, and in fact, people in this building forget that at the U.S. Open last year, had Sam Burns got what I think should have been a better ruling after they restarted play at Oakmont on Sunday, he would have been the U.S. Open champion, not J.J. Spaun. And I said, we're sort of due for a vanilla type champion. Burns is not an electric personality, but don't discount at one stroke back a guy that doesn't make bogeys winning this championship. Rory won it shooting 73 last year, not shooting a 63.
There was only one other player. Burns was one who was bogey free yesterday. There was one other player, and it was my pick. He is still in play. Justin Rose. He's been runner up 3 times, lost in a playoff last year. Does Rose have what it takes to overtake the group in front of him?
There's no question he has what it takes. The question is, will he be able to bring that to the course for 2 years in a row? I'll frankly admit that when he was the halfway leader last year, I dismissed him primarily because of his age. And I think you'll get I always like to talk about if you're watching the telecast, if you get an early read on Rose. Rose is a guy that drills 10-footers. He just fills the cup up with his 10-footers. It's not his drives. It's not his iron play. It's when he gets on the green. If he is really pushing the ball, I mean, really aggressively going at the cups, and he's succeeding, then he'll be able to do that. Nobody expected Justin Rose to be in a playoff, even in the middle of the final round last year. So yeah, he's capable of doing that, as is the number one player in the world, the only player on that board who's shown in his career that he can take a great round and improve on it the next day is Scotty Scheffler. Now, to say he's going to do that, I don't know. But we saw the real Scotty yesterday, and the real Scotty generally stays around. He doesn't go away.
Boy, isn't that the truth? Man, he looked good yesterday. And then you have some serious firepower in here. Shane Lowry is only 2 shots back. He had a hole-in-one yesterday, and Jason Day is still hanging around at 8 under, tied with Rose.
Yeah, and I will admit, I was watching this telecast a few weeks ago, and they were touting Jason Day's dead hand chipping philosophy, and I went online and found the YouTube, and I'm using that right now. And Day has stayed healthy for the last couple of years. You know, he's always had something go wrong with his sinuses or whatever, but he's been healthy. Lowry, the thing about Shane is Shane has not won a golf tournament on his own since 2022. He and Rory shared the title at New Orleans, so that scares me. But does he know how to celebrate a hole-in-one?
He does. That was so cool. It was really, really great. I'm a big fan. So Young, McIlroy, Burns, Lowry, Day, Rose, Scheffler. We haven't talked about Haotong Li, who came on he took the field by storm before struggling on the back nine, Dan.
Yeah, he had climbed to within, I think, a stroke or 2 strokes of the lead when he had gotten to 9 under. And Lee's no stranger, but he's not had success over the 4 days in his short run here at Augusta. But that you can throw. That's the other thing. I'll tell you, Tom. First of all, we're going to get wind about 4 o'clock in the afternoon. How that affects the field, I don't know. But we'll get up to about 10, 50 mile an hour gusts in the afternoon. But the other thing is, we know there's a 65 or a 66 on this golf course. It's been there every day. And so we can look at the players who are further back. You know, if somebody goes out before the wind comes up, they've got their round in. I think 12 or 13 wins this championship. 10, 11, or 12 is one of the last 5 Masters. So I think that's the number that people are looking for. So if you're seeing 13, okay, then if you're sitting right now at 6 or 7 under par, and you can be the guy that throws the number at the field, you could see that happen, whether that's Haotong Li. You know, if you asked me yesterday at the start of the day, I would say, oh, here comes Patrick Reed, because he goes birdie, 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 and he's won here. So you got to remember, the course always sets what the standard is. I've called it this year, I said the course sets a speed limit, and the speed limit had gone down yesterday. On the first day, the speed limit was 69, and when you shot 67, you were passing the speed limit. Well, 65 is a doable number. You don't get pulled over here from going 65. You get a trophy.
Some of those that are at 6 right now: Cantlay, Henley, and the aforementioned Patrick Reed. Colin Morikawa is at 5 under, although he's been dealing with some back issues. There's a grouping also at 5 with him, but that seems a little too far but we'll see. Cam Young and Rory McIlroy both at 11 under. Dan Reardon is with us from Augusta National, which is one of the finest golf courses, if not the greatest in the world, and the celebrity factor off the charts. The former winners, the stories that are exchanged. Dan, what are some of the things you've observed over the last week being at Augusta that stand out to you in 2026 off the course?
Well, I don't know if this constitutes off the course or on the course, but I will say it's the weather. I heard somebody tell me this morning that it's been 20 years since they've had a Masters week with absolutely no rain for the entire week. There's been no rain come down over this entire time, and there's been no wind. Trying to think of other things that have, but I used the line with you last week, Tom. When you come back to Augusta, there's not a lot that has changed over that period of time. No, nothing really jumps out of the other, but the weather has been just unbelievable. I mean, one of my traditions is on Sunday morning, I walk the 4-3 course, and the ponds are just glassy clear because there's no movement of the air, and it's just been a perfect weather, and that should have been good. The other thing, let me go back to it from a playing standpoint. The players don't understand, and they openly admit they don't understand why the greens aren't firmer than they are or faster than they are. They thought they were firm and fast on Thursday, and they thought they were softer both yesterday and Friday, and they're a little confused, and that's not a good place to be when you go into Sunday because they don't know exactly what that goes. And nobody's lighting it up, by the way. 3 under is the best that anybody is on the course at this time. So the uncertainty about the greens, I think, is probably I'm too much of a golf guy, I guess, to talk about the others.
No, that's really interesting. I because, when those greens get that sort of yellowish sheen to them, they look lightning fast. But you're right. Watching this yesterday, you could see a lot of people leaving it short. That's very true.
Yeah, the ball rolls, and when you get really fast greens at Augusta, you see the guys that hit the ball on the green, it backs up, and then it continues to roll. You see there on 9, you see there on 18. We're not seeing that right now. And as I said, the players are openly admitting that they are a little confused by why that is true. And we do know that with the sub-air now, that's been revealed, they can push moisture up into the greens without having to put water on top of the greens. So instead of sucking water off, they can push it back up to the roots. And that may be, for me, that was a revelation, and that may be the factor that's come into play.
Dan, while we have you and while we have our golf audience captivated here, this is a big year for St. Louis in golf. If you could give us just your take on what's coming here. You have in August the BMW Championship at Belle Reef Country Club, and not until October will we see the PGA Champions. The Stiefel Charity Classic is now a playoff event. As a matter of fact, both are playoff events here in St. Louis.
And so you'll get the best fields in terms of not guys that are the best names in golf, but the guys that have had the best year in golf. And that's a difference, So when we get to that field at BMW, these are the qualifiers. They had to work their way into that field. There's no exemptions. People were saying, well, Tiger would be in St. Louis when they were talking about the BMW. Well, you can't get an invitation to the BMW. You play your way in. And now the same thing is true at the Stiefel Charity Classic. In fact, I think I walked by Ron Edgar as I was going up to the clubhouse, but I didn't stop him to say hello. But you'll get the same thing. So you get the players who have had the best year, and you should therefore get the best golf.
Always great to chat with you, my friend. Have a great final round, and we will catch up with you and hear your reports tomorrow morning on Total Information AM.
Enjoyed it, Tom.
What a great day it is. It is Masters Sunday, one of the great days on the sports calendar. Dan Reardon reporting from Augusta National. When we come back, we'll talk some baseball with Ron Edgar, the UMSL Baseball Hall of Famer, with the St. Louis Amateur Baseball Hall of Fame induction about to take place. We'll talk some ball. I want to get his thoughts on the Cardinals as well. That's on the way. 10:45, we'll get into the Blues, and we'll hear about the national champion, the University of Denver, winning the Frozen Four yesterday. An 11 o'clock hour, some heavy hitters coming. Wray, sporting director for City, Chaim Bloom, the president of baseball operations for the Cardinals, and Bernie Miklas. It's all on the way. Sports on a Sunday morning from 10 to 12. Cardinal baseball comes your way today from Busch Stadium against the Red Sox at 1:15.
The thing that you need in the morning, when you first wake up.
Total Information AM.
I like to be informed with the news and like to know, like in the mornings, I like to know what's going on.
Debbie Monterey, Megan Lynch, Tom Ackerman.
It's always smart to know what's going on.
Your morning news and information.
The national and local news.
Weather.
Sports.
I like the traffic reports.
Total Information AM.
I listen to it in the mornings. It really gets me going.
Total Information AM. Weekdays 5 to 9 on the voice of St. Louis, KMOX.
KMOX Weekend at your service. Sponsored by Air Comfort Service Heating, Cooling, and Installation.
Ready to hit a home run with your backyard? Call Artistic Decks. We're celebrating 25 years of A-plus service with massive rollback pricing. Get a professional custom-built deck for less. Hit it out of the park with Artistic Decks. Call 314-280-0821 today.
Don't miss the Route 66 Centennial Festival at the Missouri History Museum, April 30th through May 3rd. Bring back memories of the Mother Road's stunning natural scenery and roadside attractions, and explore its complex history and impacts on communities across the region. Featuring a concert by Sweetie and the Toothaches, a classic car show, neon display, food trucks, lectures, kids' crafts, and more. All activities are free. Schedule at mohistory.org/festival.
Last several weeks, we've been talking about all kinds of stuff, college basketball and football, hockey and baseball now, but FanDuel has your back with something a little different, a special Mulligan Bet Back token this week in golf. Once the tournament starts, you can turn any losing bet into a bonus bet for another try. Now you've got protection to take that sleeper pick or make a bold prediction if you want. Backing someone to win it all? Go for it. You like someone for a top 5 finish? Lock that in with confidence, because if it doesn't hit, you've got that mulligan in your back pocket ready to go. FanDuel.com/Missouri to claim your special Mulligan Bet Back token. Must be 21 or over and present in Missouri. Opt-in required. Refund issued as a non-withdrawable bonus bets that expire 7 days after receipt. Max refund $5 unless otherwise specified. Restrictions apply, including token expiration. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
I'm Bob Burke, founder and chairman of Burke America Parts Group, a family of brands that includes RepairClinic.com, an appliance and HVAC parts solution company that's grown into an international brand. Before AmericanEagle.com, we partially launched a new technology platform developed by another firm. American Eagle helped take our technology to a whole new level with digital marketing, software development, and business insights into our key markets, appliances, HVAC, and outdoor power equipment, and did so both on time and on budget. AmericanEagle.com has the resources, experience, and talent needed to produce solutions. Our new technology platform, developed by AmericanEagle.com, has produced tremendous results with higher traffic, conversion, engagement, and online revenue. If you have any home repairs you need to take care of, check us out at RepairClinic.com. If you need a world-class website or technology project, then I would highly recommend AmericanEagle.com.
Call AmericanEagle.com at 773-NETWORK. That's AmericanEagle.com, 773-NETWORK.
Hi, I'm Jim Brennan with McKelvey Homes. The American dream is owning your own home, especially a brand new McKelvey home. This will be your last chance to take advantage of the tremendous savings of the 6 remaining market-ready homes or our luxurious Madison display at Summerlin and O'Fallon. Also get special 4.99% fixed 30-year financing. Talk to Stephen Bonfani on how you can qualify for this great offer. Visit McKelveyHomes.com. It's time to move up to McKelvey.
Now, back to the Gray Bar Sports on a Sunday morning on 104.1 KMOX. From the Stifel Financial Sports Studio, here is Tom Ackerman.
And here is Ron Edgar live on KMOX at 10:33 to talk some baseball with us. And does he know ball? He is first of all, he was an outstanding college baseball player at UMSL, an All-American, and a Hall of Famer at UMSL. He is also a big part of the St. Louis Amateur Baseball Hall of Fame, and that induction ceremony is coming up on April 23rd at the River City Casino Ballroom in South County. Bob Ramsey is the master of ceremonies. It's a great event. The Greater St. Louis Amateur Baseball Hall of Fame's Ron Edgar is with us back on KMOX. I love these annual visits we have. Ron, how are you?
I'm doing great. How are you doing? Okay?
I'm doing awesome. I really, first of all, before we talk about the Cardinals, I want to get your thoughts on the Cardinals and talk a little ball with you. But I really love what you do, and I tell you this every year, but this Amateur Baseball Hall of Fame is a huge part of the St. Louis sports landscape. It involves so many different people who've contributed to the game. The game is much bigger than what you see at Busch Stadium, isn't it, Ron?
Oh, it sure is. It's for, especially in St. Louis area. You know, this is our 52nd year of doing this, and we average about 500 people every year at this ceremony. And this Hall of Fame is really about, the way to put it, it's the best possible ball players, coaches, even umpires, and contributors that never played on the big stage. So that's a pretty good group of people.
Tell me about the wide range of leagues and teams that you involve, because I do see everywhere from, let's say, McKendree to Quincy to Swick to all of the teams around the St. Louis area that don't get as much press.
Well, yeah, that's really true. It's called the Greater St. Louis Amateur Ball Hall of Fame for a reason. Greater St. Louis, our territory, really pretty well goes out to Warrenton County out there, and over into the east side of Edwardsville and Greenville and back there. So it takes in a very large area of people. So it takes in a lot of folks, a lot of great ball players and leagues, and from the Montclair League to the County League to, Waterloo League. I mean, it's all over. So we get a lot of great ball players that way.
You'll be inducting 12 players, 7 with professional experience, 1 coach, 1 contributor, and 1 umpire among the inductees. I want to talk about a couple of people before we talk some Cardinal baseball. One of the finest people I know, Andy Katzman, the outstanding head coach and assistant coach, 500-plus wins over his career at John Burroughs, 7 Final Four appearances, 3 state championships. But I'm here to tell you that Catter is a better person than he is baseball coach, and that's saying something, because he's an outstanding baseball coach.
Yeah, he really is, and like I said, he's a great guy as well. So we're really happy to have him. So that'd be kind of nice.
And we also have Bob Ramsey running the show. You have the Bob Bragg Award presented to a high school coach for his commitment to coaching excellence. You have the Jack Buck Media Award, which I was honored to receive one of your years. That goes to a member of the St. Louis media whose work embodies the principles of Hall of Famer Jack Buck. They have the J. Kim Tucci Legacy Award, the Bob Burns Award, the Rising Star Award. I mean, you cover it all, and you honor the greats.
Yeah, we really do. And this year on the baseball side, we got Derek Gould, the Cardinal writer, and he's getting the Jack Buck Award this year. So we're really proud to have him. And another Bob Bragg Award winner of a high school outstanding coach is Conrad Babe Champion. And I'm sure you're familiar with him. He's been around a long time. So got some great people. And Ross Detweiler, a former big league pitcher, 14 years in the big leagues, we're honoring him with the Bob Burns Award. So we've got some pretty nice awards coming, and pretty excited about it this year.
I'm going to say this about my friend Derek Gould, and he knows how much I think about him, but I will say that Jack Buck, who passed away in 2002, they did not really intersect all that much when it comes to working around the ball club. But Mr. Buck would love, and I mean love, reading Derek Gould, and the work that he puts into it, I know Mr. Buck would respect and is looking down and respecting.
Yeah, we're really thrilled to have Derek. We couldn't have made a better choice. And yes, I agree with you on Jack would probably really like that part. So.
And I think that Derek is going to absolutely love this experience. Ron, what do you think of this club? I mean, they lost yesterday in excruciating fashion. I hate to see a reliever get beat up like that late in the game, but it happened. But by and large, they've had a pretty nice start to the year.
Yeah, I think they're kind of fun to watch. Got all the young guys getting a chance to play now, and just let them play. And but when it's all said and done, it's going to come down to pitching, how well they do. And I hated to see Swanson get knocked around yesterday, because I really like his arm, but he's had a tough start here. But really, I think as far as they go on pitching is as far as they're going to go. So I think they're going to hover that 500 mark, maybe a little better, and maybe much better if they get great pitching. But the good news is we got a lot of young people playing, and we've got a lot of good people coming up, especially on the pitching side. And they might not be ready yet, but 2 or 3 guys are ready. And maybe Walker's kind of found his stroke a little bit. That'd be nice. And I'm a big Gorman fan. I just think you need to let him play, let him get at it. Let these guys go. So we'll see how it goes. But like I said, I think it's good for the Cardinals. I think it's good for the fans to come watch them play, because now you get to watch young guys play, and let's go for it. So
their lineup today: Weatherholt's leading off, playing second base. This lineup just came out a little while ago. Ivan Herrera is going to catch today and bat second. Alec Burleson is the first baseman batting third. Jordan Walker is the cleanup hitter playing right field. Nolan Gorman's the DH batting fifth. Ramon Urias at third base today batting sixth. And Fermin in left. Fermin he's in left. Sajaci's at short. And Victor Scott the second is in center field. So no Mason Wynn again in the lineup today. We'll get an update on that coming up. But this is a team that I don't see a ton of power out of them except for Jordan Walker. I mean, he has found his rhythm, Ron.
Yeah, he really has. It's, the big thing with him is what not to swing at, right? It's like everybody in the world can tell you that I cannot hit this pitch. Well, if you can't hit that pitch, don't swing at it. And if he just won't swing at those pitches, and so far he's been hitting a lot of mistakes, and that's a good thing. And I think Gorman's in the same boat. I think when Gorman gets hot, he's the one with the real power. I'm talking about natural power. And if he would just hit the mistakes and just do his thing, I think he'll be fine. But we'll see how it goes.
Ron,
I think Weatherholt's the real deal.
Yeah, I was going to ask you about him. I mean, what does he have that you love?
What I love most about him is, and don't take this the wrong way, when I say he's a contact hitter, I think he puts the bat to the ball on just about any pitch that's in the strike zone. And I really like that about him, because if you get a guy that makes contact and makes good contact all the time, everything good's going to happen. It's just the way he is. Absolutely. And he looks like things just don't bother him. He really goes after it. So.
Yeah, he makes things happen. This game today, how is the game of baseball today to you, as someone who's watched the game for a long, long time? Do you enjoy today's baseball as it's presented?
Well, I do. I mean, I'm into the hitting side of it a lot. I watch that and all that sort of thing. And the thing that's changed over the years is what I used to call, and I still call it, is situational hitting. You get in the batter's box, and if you get 2-0 on you or 3-1, you got to hit your pitch only. And if you don't get it, don't swing at it. And it just aggravates the heck out of me when I see too many people get up there. They get a 2-0 count, a 3-1 count, and a guy throws them a slider in the dirt and they swing at it. And I'm like, what? I mean, what planet are you living on to do that? You just got to get yourself disciplined, just like I was saying with Walker. He cannot hit a slider on the outside part of the plate or off the plate. He used to swing at balls that were 3 feet off the plate. Well, you know what? There ain't a hitter on the planet that can hit that ball. So once you learn to have situational hitting, and I remember Mark McGuire when he was here and when he was even coaching here later on, he taught that a lot. It was all in the head, situational hitting. Look what you want to hit. And I'm going back as far as when I used to play. I'm not telling you. I knew, they say don't guess. Well, you don't have to guess, but you can look for your pitch. And if you're ahead in the count, if you don't get it, don't swing at it. So that's the only thing that aggravates me a little bit. I like that. I like the running game a little more and the hit and run and all that. But other than that, it's okay. I'd like to see the pitchers go a little more, but that's kind of gone, right? I mean, they go 5 or 6 innings. They're like, ooh, you know.
No, I'm with you on that, and that's, I think, because of money. You know, they become valuable assets.
Yeah.
So
That's really it. That's really what
it's
it does.
changed the game. What do you think about? And final thing for you, I think ABS has been interesting because it not only corrects the umpire and questions the umpire, but it does now add a layer of strategy to the hitter. The hitter does not get any help. That hitter has to decide in that moment whether to challenge that pitch, depending on situation and time of the placement in the game. They can challenge and use it effectively.
I think it's great for what you just said, as well as it takes 7 seconds to get that thing done. That's all it takes. Yeah. And think about that for a minute. There ain't no time. Oh, we'll call New York and see what they say. And, you know, that no, it takes 7 seconds.
Yeah.
And I think it's great what you just said. I mean, I'd have loved that. You know, I've been kind of like, hey, you know, and I'm not going to sit there and, if I know the strike zone, if I really know it, and I'm up to bat there, and I don't care what situation it's in. You know, if I'm wanting my pitch and they throw something at it, I know it's a ball length outside or whatever it is, I'm going to challenge that. You know, I mean, the other thing it does too, it kind of tells the umpires around the league who's good and who isn't, if you know what I mean.
Yes, I do.
There's a couple umpires, I'm not going to name them by name, but there's a couple of them that's been challenged multiple times. I'm telling them multiple times in a game, and they lose them. They lose the majority of them. I mean, if I'm baseball, I look at that and I go, you know, that's not good for the game. But anyway, overall, I think it's great for what you said and what I said, that the time frame, it can be taken care of real quick. And who doesn't want it right? I mean, that's really what it's about. So
yeah, it's a nice addition to the game for sure. stlabhof.org. That's the Greater St. Louis Amateur Baseball Hall of Fame website. Your event on the 23rd, is it sold out, Ron? Do you need a few more tickets sold?
It is not sold out yet. We've got about 50 tickets left. And I might add that you gave them that number of the STA, but in front of that, if they could, put Ed Koff, which is EDKOPFF at, and then the STA.org, the website.
Got it. We will.
Ed can handle all the tickets for you.
All right. We'll make sure to get people to that event. It's on April 23rd at River City Casino, which does a great job in their ballroom at these events. It's the Greater St. Louis Amateur Baseball Hall of Fame induction ceremony, and Ron Edgar has been joining us each and every year to talk about it. Thank you, Ron.
Hey, nice talking to you, Tom. Take care now.
Good to talk to you. We'll take a break. We'll talk some hockey next. We have a big 11 o'clock hour, but first, the Circa Sports Parlay of the Day, sponsored by Circa Sports, sports betting the way it should be. I'm just going to remind you of something, of my Circa Sports Parlay of the Day that I repeated last week. I basically gave you two choices, and I thought that they were both pretty good to go on the Masters. One of them was Ludwig Åberg, who at the time was plus 1,600. I thought that was decent to be able to put it on Åberg. Unfortunately, Åberg hasn't worked out as well, although he's 3 under. He's given it a run, but he's 8 shots off the lead. However, and I felt very strongly about this, if you recall, Justin Rose at plus 3,000 is a tremendous value. He's not that anymore. You can't get him there anymore because he's 3 shots off the lead. But Justin Rose, I felt very strongly could win the Masters at plus 3,000. I thought was a dynamite value, and he's 3 shots off the lead at -8. So I'm just retroactively making those picks for you, and maybe just bragging on it a little bit, unless Rose were to fall off here. But we'll see. We'll see. Maybe it'll cause you to jot down my Circa Sports Parlay of the Day a little bit stronger when we come out with it tomorrow on Total Information AM. We're going to take a break. When we come back, we'll talk some hockey. It's sports on a Sunday morning from the Stiefel Sports Studio.
Hey, Missouri, it's game time. Start betting like a pro with the world's largest sports book at your fingertips. Hi, I'm Derek Stevens. I'm a lifelong sports bettor, and I'm the owner of Circa Sports. It's sports betting the way it should be, with high limits, player-friendly pricing, exceptional customer service, and more. Download your new bookie at circasports.com. The action starts now, Missouri. Experience the difference with Circus Sports. Bet like a pro.
Must be 21 or older. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Calling all runners. Register now for the Cardinals 5K on Saturday, April 18th. And you can take a victory lap on the field at Busch Stadium. Don't miss this chance to bring the whole family for a fun St. Louis 5K race that brings fans together to support kids in the community. The Cardinals 5K, Saturday, April 18th. Register now at cardinals.com/5K. And for more information, just head to KMOX.com/events.
Glover here for my friends at Cantor Injury Law. Cantor is local, and we're here doing the work every day. We're right here in St. Louis, and we're ready to fight for you. CantorInjuryLaw.com or call 314-628-9999.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be solely based on advertisements.
Rhino Shield is far superior to even the best traditional exterior house paint. Rhino Shield is 8 to 10 times thicker than paint and comes with a 25-year transferable warranty. Rhino Shield is the only ceramic coating company that has been chosen by Disney, This Old House, and 3 times on HGTV's Curb Appeal, where every episode is concentrated on unpainted brick, bonds and seals to stucco, wood, hardy, block, color lock, masonite, and more. No better product for those steel aluminum sided homes that have become, chalky and tired looking. We coat sloped and flat roofs to extend their lives too. After 15 years, we've got a great reputation and a superior product. As long as it's affordable, why wouldn't you do it? Before you make the costly mistake of painting with traditional paint, you'd be best served to call Rhino Shield today. We are the experts and our evaluations are free. 877-25-RHINO or 877-25rhino.com. Tell them, ladies.
Don't paint, don't Rhino, go Rhino Shield. Never paint your house again. Rhino Shield.
This is the story of the one. As a maintenance tech at a university, he knows ordering from multiple suppliers takes time away from keeping their arena up and running. That's why he counts on Grainger to get everything he needs, from lighting and HVAC parts to plumbing supplies, all in one place. And with fast, dependable delivery, he's stocked and ready for the next tip-off. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
There's a difference between liking a house and actually getting it. Redfin is built to make up that difference and close the gap between finding and owning the home for you. Redfin agents close twice as many deals as other agents, so when you find a home you love, you're not a step behind when it's time to make an offer. That means less watching great homes disappear and more focus on the ones you'll actually move into and call home. Redfin helps turn saved listings into real addresses. Get started at redfin.com. Own the dream.
If you need a garage door, this could be your lucky day. Entries are open now for the $5,000 sweepstakes at Overhead Door Company of St. Louis. A winner will be chosen at random to receive $5,000 towards new garage doors, openers, or front entry doors of your choice. Deadline to enter is the end of the month to win the $5,000 sweepstakes with Overhead Door Company of St. Louis. Enter now at overheaddoorstlouis.com. You can't win if you don't enter at overheaddoorstlouis.com.
I'm Debbie Monterey, and I see more clearly thanks to the doctors at Ophthalmology Associates. Make your appointment today at 314-966-5000 or online at yourEyeDoc.com.
Get everything for your automotive needs at Menards. We have what you need to keep your vehicle looking like new. Give your car's headlights the care they need with a Turtle Wax Headlight Lens Restoration Kit. It removes surface discoloration and helps protect against future yellowing. Save big on all Turtle Wax products. Plus, check out our weekly flyer on Menards.com for all the great deals happening now.
Save big money at Menards.
The spring cleaning rush at Zero Res. This week's flash sale, $50 per room of carpet clean for unlimited rooms and whole system air duct cleaning for just $599. Visit ZeroResSTL.com to book your appointment. That's ZeroResSTL.com.
Now, back to the Gray Bar Sports on a Sunday morning on 104.1 KMOX. From the Stifel Financial Sports Studio, here is Tom Ackerman.
Welcome back to the show. The Blues have officially been eliminated from playoff contention. That happened when Los Angeles beat Edmonton 1-0. The Blues won anyway. They beat the Blackhawks 5-3 at the United Center in Chicago. Here's Coach Jim Montgomery.
Yeah, but I mean, realistically, LA wasn't going to lose 5 in a row.
Coach, there was a note on the broadcast. You specifically, every full season of your career,
you have made the playoffs. How do you make sense of this team and how this season came to an end?
Well, I'm not going to really reflect on the team right now, but I can reflect on my own experience. And it is the first time I missed the playoffs. And I know I'm going to learn and grow a lot from it because I realize some of the errors I've made and some of the ways that maybe I didn't stick to the way I believe to build a team throughout the year.
But what can you say about the way the team battled from the break onwards?
Yeah, excellent. I mean, this group, when we play the right way, we tend to play really well and tend to keep pucks out of our net and tend to win games by, 4-2.
You made reference to the core tenets that you believe in as a coach. What is the tenet that speaks most to you that will make Jim Montgomery better in 2027?
I think getting everybody to have a common goal over individual goals. When everybody's thinking like-minded, you tend to have a team that's close, and the dressing room and everybody's excited to come to the rink because everybody's like-minded.
That's Jim Montgomery, Blues coach, after the win over the Blackhawks, but on the same day learning that they were out of playoff contention and answering some questions there. Really nice little session there with Jim Montgomery. Always very thoughtful, I think, with the media. And the hope is that he can turn that team around, a young team that actually has a lot of firepower. I think that line with Robert Thomas and Dylan Holloway and Jimmy Snuggerud is dynamite and is going to be one of the best in hockey next year. Once upon a time, Monty won the national championship with the University of Denver, and Denver has done it again. The Denver Pioneers are the 2026 national champions, defeating Wisconsin 2-1 in a third-period comeback in the Frozen Four championship game last night in Las Vegas. That is Denver's 11th title in program history and the third in 5 years, extending the Pioneers' lead as the winningest team in D1 men's hockey history. Their coach, David Carl, is going to be coaching in the NHL someday, just like Jim Montgomery, and maybe soon. Denver struggled to get any offense going for most of the game, just 9 shots through 47 minutes, but they turned it on late, and they won the game 2-1 over a really tough Wisconsin team. We'll take a break. We'll come back with more after the news on KMOX.
Hey, it's Debbie Monterey, and I think right now we all need something to look forward to, and a nice little getaway is going to do it for me. So I've been looking at this 5-day Arizona trip that I planned in September, and to me, it sounds absolutely perfect, and I would love for you to join me. Here's what we're going to do. We're going to stay in Flagstaff because that means cooler temperatures. It's a great home base, and from there, we're going to visit Sedona, the Grand Canyon, and Lake Powell all in one trip. I'm talking about red rocks, big views, and that deep blue water at Lake Powell that looks like a postcard. I'm told September is one of the best times to go with fewer crowds, more comfortable weather, and everything's going to be planned out for us. We just show up. If this sounds like something you'd like to do, please join me because I have always wanted to go to the Grand Canyon. Travelwithdebbie.net. That's travelwithdebbie.net or call Cruise and Tour at 800-383-3131. Space is limited, so don't delay. 800-383-3131. Travelwithdebbie.net.
There's a difference between liking a house and actually getting it. Redfin is built to make up that difference and close the gap between finding and owning the home for you. Redfin agents close twice as many deals as other agents, so when you find a home you love, you're not a step behind when it's time to make an offer. That means less watching great homes disappear and more focus on the ones you'll actually move into and call home. Redfin helps turn saved listings into real addresses. Get started at redfin.com. Own the dream.
Hear that? That's Mike. He took ZzzQuil Pure Z's, so now he's sleeping soundly on a Sunday night. ZzzQuil Pure Z's are fast-acting melatonin gummies with a complementary botanical blend to help Mike get the sleep he needs to wake up refreshed and ready to conquer Monday.
Let's do this Monday.
ZzzQuil Pure Z's, just for sleep. Really great sleep. These statements have not been evaluated by the Food and Drug Administration. These products are not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease. Use as directed.
At Easy Cater, we believe every workday gets better with great food. The 9 a.m. staff meeting? How about breakfast burritos and lots of coffee? Big client presentation at noon? Let's do Mediterranean bowls. Accounting's gotta work late. Keep them pepped up with spicy noodles. With EasyCater, you get a huge variety of favorite restaurants with tools to help meet dietary needs and stay on budget, all on one platform. So make every workday better with EasyCater. Start an order at easycater.com.
There's a difference between liking a house and actually getting it. Redfin is built to make up that difference and close the gap between finding and owning the home for you. Redfin agents close twice as many deals as other agents, so when you find a home you love, you're not a step behind when it's time to make an offer. That means less watching great homes disappear and more focus on the ones you'll actually move into and call home. Redfin helps turn saved listings into real addresses. Get started at redfin.com. Own the dream.
KMOX AM St. Louis, KMOX FM Hazelwood.
This is CBS News on the Hour, your home for original reporting.
I'm Linda Kenyon. A U.S. delegation meeting with Iranians in Pakistan has failed to expand the ceasefire agreement with Iran. CBS's Shauna Mizell reports.
Vice President J.D. Vance headed back to the U.S. this morning after failing to reach a deal in the war against Iran.
We've had a number of substantive discussions with the Iranians. That's the good news. The bad news is that we have not reached an agreement.
Vance, along with Special Envoy Steve Witkoff and President Trump's son-in-law Jared Kushner, spent more than 20 hours in face-to-face negotiations.
A failure to reach a deal has prompted President Trump to take a new step. He says the U.S. will soon begin a blockade of the Strait of Hormuz.
We're just bringing the ships up. We got a lot of ships, so we're bringing them up. We think that numerous countries are going to be helping us with this also, but we're putting on a complete blockade. We're not going to let Iran make money on selling oil to people that they like and not people that they don't like.
The president spoke on Fox News. U.S. Senator Mark Warner tells CNN he fails to see how blockading the Strait of Hormuz will lead to its reopening or to an end to the war.
I have no idea, other than the idea that he could interdict at both ends of the strait, how he's going to get it reopened, how we're going to get ships through.
U.S. officials blame Iran's nuclear ambitions for the breakdown in the peace talks in Islamabad. Iran accuses the U.S. of overreach. 1/5 of the world's crude oil passes through the Strait of Hormuz, and the U.S. demanded Iran reopen the strait as a condition of the 2-week ceasefire. Energy costs have global prices surging, and governments in Europe are worried.
The war with Iran has sent inflation fears through Europe, and there's more talk of government price controls. Benjamin Selwyn at the University of Sussex.
There is a general trend towards price controls.
Greece's household basket model of capped pricing on essentials has been popular with consumers.
Cost reductions for thousands of goods is quite successful.
In Europe, price caps are seen as fast relief for inflation.
That's reporter Brad Gibson in Paris. Calls are growing in California for Democratic Congressman Eric Swalwell to end his campaign for governor and to resign his seat in the U.S. House of Representatives. These calls follow allegations of sexual misconduct. Democrat Tony Thurmond, who is also running for governor, says Swalwell must go.
We're reminding Congressman Swalwell that when Supreme Court Justice, then nominee Brett Kavanaugh, was accused of sexual assault, then Congressman Swalwell said, hey, listen to the women.
Swalwell has denied the allegations. This is CBS News.
The stars shine brighter on CBS Morning. This is a slam dunk.
So cute. Y'all came in singing for me today.
On CBS Mornings.
At 11:03, we have a mostly cloudy sky in downtown St. Louis. It's up to 74 degrees, windy conditions expected not only now, but really picking up at noon. I'm Tom Ackerman, and these are the stories making news. We'll get that full forecast for you here in just a few minutes on Sports on a Sunday Morning. We have a loaded group coming up, and that is on the way in just a matter of moments. In the news this morning, Saturday morning's tragedy on the Merrimack River in Franklin County.
The Missouri Highway Patrol says a 25-year-old St. Louis man tried to go swimming at Merrimack State Park. He entered the river voluntarily but began to struggle, went underwater, and did not resurface. A rescue call went out to the Sullivan Fire Department. About an hour later, a crew found the man's body. The Highway Patrol says the case is being investigated as a drowning. Brad Choate, KMOX News.
A 70-year-old St. Charles man has died from injuries suffered in a Saturday morning crash on I-70 in Lake St. Louis. The Missouri Highway Patrol says a car bumped into the back end of a pickup truck and caused the truck to skid and overturn. Troopers say the car's driver, a 30-year-old Georgia man, was not injured. It's believed some sort of battery issue started a large fire at a Metro East towing yard Saturday with a plume of black smoke that could be seen for miles. The owners of Patterson Towing in Cahokia Heights say dozens of cars ignited. Most of the vehicles had been hauled there to be scrapped. It took crews from more than 10 departments to get water to the scene and douse the flames. No injuries were reported. Our weather for today, we're looking at a cloudy sky and windy conditions really picking up at noon, and cloudy conditions expected until around 5, wind gusts up to 28 miles per hour, cooling things off just a touch. But right now it's 74 degrees and feels like 68. Tomorrow we get up to 85 degrees for the high, 87 for the high on Tuesday, rain in the forecast on Wednesday with a high of 79. Currently, in downtown St. Louis, it's cloudy, 74 degrees at the Arch. I'm Tom Ackerman, KMOX News.
From KMOX Sports, this is the Gray Bar Sports on a Sunday morning. Gray Bar, your distributor for electrical and datacom needs. Now, from the Stifel Financial Sports Studio, here is Tom Ackerman.
Welcome back to the show. Corey Wray, Chaim Bloom, Bernie Miklasz. That's your trio of guests coming up in the next 3 segments on Sports on a Sunday morning. Before we take you to Cardinal baseball, Nate Gatter will have your pregame today at 12:20, 1:15 first pitch for Andre Pallante against the Boston Red Sox. Here's the lineup that the Red Sox will have today. Roman Anthony is going to lead things off. He's the DH. Caleb Durbin bats second. He's the third baseman. Jaron Duran is in left field batting third. Wilson Contreras at first base today. He's the cleanup hitter. Wilyer Abreu bats fifth. He's in right field. Trevor Story, the shortstop, sixth. Marcelo Mayer is the second baseman batting seventh. Connor Wong bats eighth. He's the catcher. And Ceden Rafaela is the center fielder, and he bats ninth. The Cardinals will counter with J.J. Weatherholt as the leadoff hitter playing second base. Ivan Herrera, the catcher, bats second. Alec Burleson is the first baseman batting third. Jordan Walker bats cleanup. He's the right fielder. Nolan Gorman, the DH, fifth. Ramon Arias, the third baseman, sixth. Jose Fermin's in left field again. He bats seventh. Thomas Sajaci is at shortstop. He is the eighth hitter today. And then you have Victor Scott, the second, in his normal center field spot, batting ninth. Bello against Pallante in this one. Herrera and Pallante are a battery that does catch up quite often together, and they actually are seemingly pretty good for each other. Pallante 1-0 with a 1.80 ERA so far, so Herrera will catch him again. Cardinals and Red Sox this afternoon at Busch Stadium. Also happening around sports today, it is the final round of the Masters. We talked to Dan Reardon about it last hour. If you want to go back and listen to his excellent breakdown, just go to our 10:15 segment on Sports on a Sunday morning. Cam Young and Rory McIlroy are tied at 11 under par. They are the final group today, and they will go off at 1:25 p.m. Central Time. So you have plenty of time until that group goes off, but I'm here to tell you there's some star power behind them, and it's all going to get going here. Now, the course is interesting. It is dried out, as you've probably seen, and it depends on who you talk to, whether it's a good scoring course or whether it is a difficult course to play. And from what I can tell right now, with the scores that are coming in, this is a day to shoot low numbers. Hideki Matsuyama is 2 under through 3 holes. He is 4 under and is starting to creep into the top 15. Look at Victor Hovland. He's 4 under through 8 holes today. He was +1 coming into today. He's 3 under now. Jordan Spieth is 2 under through 4 holes. Maverick McNeely is 2 under through 7. Keegan Bradley's 3 under through 10. And John Rahm is 4 under through 12. I mean, there are some red numbers being shot today at Augusta National. So it's going to get really interesting here behind Young and McIlroy. McIlroy had a 6-shot lead and watched that evaporate. He is now tied with Young again. They're the final grouping at 125. Right behind them, teeing off at 114, it's Sam Burns at 10 under and Shane Lowry at 9 under. The group behind them at 103, Jason Day and Justin Rose, they are both 8 under for the championship, just 3 shots off the lead. Scotty Scheffler and Haotong Li are 7 under for the championship. Scheffler's only 4 shots off the lead now. Keep that in mind. He shot 7 under yesterday. Can he do that again? Absolutely he can. He's the number 1 player in the world, and he's only 4 shots behind Young and McIlroy. There's a grouping of 3 players at 6 under, Patrick Cantlay, Russell Henley, and Patrick Reed. Not to mention Colin Morikawa at 5 under. Now, can they make a run? Morikawa, I doubt. He is fighting injury right now. His back has been bothering him. The fact that he's 5 under is amazing in itself. But he is in that group right now of players that have some star power who are on the leaderboard chasing after Rory McIlroy and Cam Young. But again, I will reference Hovland, Spieth, Matsuyama, Rahm, Bradley. They are all firing. Gary Woodland's 4 under today. So there are some red numbers that are being posted today, which tells me that this course might be gettable. Now, Dan Reardon tells me that, told us on KMOX last hour that the wind is expecting to pick up. They're expecting the wind to pick up at about 4 o'clock this afternoon. So that's right on time for these players who will be coming close to making the turn. Playing the back nine on Sunday at Augusta with gusts of wind is not the most ideal thing of all. So we'll see what they end up doing there, if that affects certain players or not. For a player like McIlroy, he's a gambler. He's not a conservative player, and that's the way he plays. He's an aggressive player. He hits bombs off the tee, and he will hit 7 irons from 220 out, and he loves to let it rip. So what's interesting is that sometimes that'll help him, sometimes that'll hurt him. A conservative player like a Justin Rose or a Sam Burns, who didn't make a bogey the entire round yesterday, how do they play this? Are they able to slip in to that final group in the end and win this thing and take it away? Jason Day with a terrific short game. Shane Lowry had a hole-in-one yesterday. He's 9 under for the championship. It's going to be a fascinating day of golf, the final round of the Masters. We're going to take a quick timeout. When we come back, we're going to talk soccer. St. Louis City SC earned a road point yesterday, 1-1 draw at Dallas. It'll be sporting director Corey Wray with us. At 11:30, the president of baseball operations, Chaim Bloom, of the St. Louis Cardinals. And then at 11:45, it's Bernie Miklasz. Before we take that break, I want to tell you what's happening tomorrow at the Missouri Athletic Club. The United States Basketball Writers Association is having its awards ceremony there tomorrow, and it is going to be someday. Their crowning event is going to be streamed live on YouTube, and it is going to be a great day with some big-time names that will be there. We're going to tell you about it coming up here on Sports on a Sunday Morning. We'll get into some of the big names that are showing up. I'm sure you've heard me talking about it on the air already, that Magic Johnson is going to be in the house, that Dusty May is going to be in the house, that Josh Schertz and Robbie Avila are going to be in the house as well. It's going to be a great lineup at the MAC tomorrow night. Can't wait to be there and be part of the ceremony. Back in a moment. Sports on a Sunday Morning on KMOX.
Last several weeks, we've been talking about all kinds of stuff, college basketball and football, hockey and baseball now, but FanDuel has your back with something a little different, a special Mulligan Bet Back token this week in golf. Once the tournament starts, you can turn any losing bet into a bonus bet for another try. Now you've got protection to take that sleeper pick or make a bold prediction if you want. Backing someone to win it all? Go for it. You like someone for a top 5 finish? Lock that in with confidence, because if it doesn't hit, you've got that mulligan in your back pocket ready to go. FanDuel.com/Missouri to claim your special Mulligan Bet Back token. Must be 21 or over and present in Missouri. Opt-in required. Refund issued as a non-withdrawable bonus bets that expire 7 days after receipt. Max refund $5 unless otherwise specified. Restrictions apply, including token expiration. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Spring is here. Hi, this is Tim Gamma.
And I'm Tom Gamma.
When it comes to tree care, call the name you can can trust. Gamma Tree Experts, founded by our dad, Frank Gamma, in 1954.
Frank will be 91 this year, and the third generation of Gammas have joined the business.
Call our team of certified arborists to inspect your trees and shrubs today. Knowledge and quality are hallmarks of our reputation. Now in our 72nd year.
For pruning, fertilization, and removal, call Gamma Tree Experts today or visit us at gammatree.com.
Your trees deserve the best care.
There's a difference between liking a house and actually getting it. Redfin is built to make up that difference and close the gap between finding and owning the home for you. Redfin agents close twice as many deals as other agents, so when you find a home you love, you're not a step behind when it's time to make an offer. That means less watching great homes disappear and more focus on the ones you'll actually move into and call home. Redfin helps turn saved listings into real addresses. Get started at redfin.com. Own the dream.
My name is Whitney Allen, and I'm a widow. My husband, Ryan, died. We never thought we'd ever have to use life insurance, but the unexpected happened. With Ethos, signing up was fast and 100% online. You can get a quote in seconds, apply in minutes, and get same-day coverage. No medical exams, and you can get up to $3 million worth of coverage. I'm grateful we were prepared.
Get your free quote at ethos.com/radio. That's ethos.com/radio. Paid spokesperson. Time spent on application may vary. Online health questions required.
Siteman Cancer Center Spotlight, and we are discussing esophageal cancer with Dr. Raymond Jin.
Curative, that's a complex decision that involves what we call multidisciplinary care. So that involves a surgeon, a medical oncologist, radiation oncologist. So you need the expertise, and that's something that we have here at Siteman, especially geared for these esophageal cancer patients.
Siteman Cancer Center, national leaders in cancer. Visit siteman.washu.edu.
There's a difference between liking a house and actually getting it. Redfin is built to make up that difference and close the gap between finding and owning the home for you. Redfin agents close twice as many deals as other agents, so when you find a home you love, you're not a step behind when it's time to make an offer. That means less watching great homes disappear and more focus on the ones you'll actually move into and call home. Redfin helps turn saved listings into real addresses. Get started at redfin.com. Own the dream.
One of life's greatest mysteries has finally been solved.
Who let the dogs out? Spruce.
It's Spruce, the weed and grass killer that's safe for use around people, pets, and bees. When used as directed, spray the leaves for visible results in just 1 hour, and dead weeds in just 1 day. You spray, they play. Spruce, pet friendly, weed deadly. Find wherever weed killers are sold.
Now, back to the Gray Bar Sports on a Sunday morning on 104.1 KMOX. From the Stifel Financial Sports Studio, here is Tom Ackerman.
Welcome back to the show. It's 11:17, and it is always a pleasure to be joined by the sporting director for St. Louis City SC. Corey Wray is with us after another road point as they tied Dallas last night. Final was 1-1. Good morning, Corey. Thanks for being with us.
Good morning. Happy Sunday.
Happy Sunday to you. And the club now with a 3-match unbeaten streak. And how about this? They picked up their first point at Toyota Stadium in club history. As a matter of fact, Timo Baumgartel said after the game, it's about damn time to get a point here. How about that? A first for St. Louis City SC.
Yeah, that's when we've come in here, myself and Johan said we have a lot of opportunities to be the first, a lot of important things. I would say this was not as high on the list as, winning trophies or the playoffs, but I certainly have had my share of losses over the years in Dallas as well. So we'll take it. It's a really good way to keep the group moving forward, remain, undefeated in three, as you mentioned, and try to just keep some momentum going into this, tough stretch.
Corey, what makes Dallas so good? Their strikers seem to be pretty excellent.
Yeah, they've got, obviously, a lot of the time, thankfully last night was not one of them, they've got the weather on their side. They've got a very good, strong core of players that are, extremely aggressive and intense. And then they have the two strikers in Farrington and Musa that present a lot of challenges when they do get opportunities. So credit to the back line last night. They kept them fairly quiet, and obviously Berkey kept us in the game. And we're really happy to get out of there with a point for sure.
What about the players up front applying pressure? Is that the key in a situation like that?
Yeah, I think we don't get those victories if we have guys that are taking plays off, and the front three are so selfless in their work rate, and they really give us a chance to be, opportunistic on turnovers. You could see a lot of times Dallas either passing the ball out of bounds or, back to us. And that's because of the pressure that our guys put on. So they're relentless in their efforts. They're really well organized in their press. And so we'll continue to work on the final product when we do get the turnovers. But without that, I don't think we would get a point.
When you have momentum in this sport, how do you know that you have it, Corey? In the game of soccer, how do you know that you've gained momentum and you don't let it go?
Yeah, I think, look, we have a long way to go with the overall group and what we're trying to achieve. But you have to instill belief in the players that, when you do go down, it's not the end of the world. When you do have a lead, that you can hold on to it and fight for whatever points are on the table. And I think that's almost like a muscle memory that we got to work on. Historically, over the last couple of years, the team has put their head down when they get scored on. They've tried their best, but we haven't been successful in making the playoffs since the first year. And so for us, it's about just continuing to make the guys believe that we do have an opportunity here. And if we keep playing the way we're going to play and, eventually we continue to get guys back and add some pieces in the summer, that will have a really good shot of continuously making the playoffs. So it starts with belief, and then obviously the application of what the coach is asking week in, week out. And, he'll tell you the same thing. They're doing what is being asked of them. We just need to continue to hone in on some of the details, and I think the results will continue to come.
Obviously, this is year one for both of you, but how does Yohan Demay differ from what we're used to around here?
That might be a question for everyone else, because we're coming in at the same time. I can tell you, I've worked with probably over 12 head coaches in my time, which is quite a lot. It does mean that, some of them didn't have a long lifespan, but with that, I will say that the things that he does well, he's very clear in what he's asking for instruction-wise. He sees the game and presents the match plan in a very concise way that the players can digest and execute. And I think, he's not overly reactive to results. He keeps things going with a steady hand. And week by week, game by game, we're trying to add in different layers. And I think, progress-wise, we're doing a good job, at least in some of the things we're trying to do in being competitive week after week. And I think that's a start for sure. And I think without a solid defensive structure and shape, you don't end up becoming a great team. And I'll give credit to the back line and those involved, obviously from goalkeeper to midfield and to the front, like you mentioned. Without that structure, we don't have a really good upside. And so week by week, we'll build out the rest, but I'm pretty happy with where we are.
And sometimes you get rewarded. That's the first MLS goal for Baumgartel. Pretty nice day.
Yeah. I'd say he's pretty happy with that. And again, off of, continuous pressure, we finally get some good crosses in there. I think that was off a little bit last night, and, he capitalized. So I'm very happy with him. He's put in a good shift since the start of the year. He's been very consistent and reliable, and he got what he deserved for sure.
And I've asked you this before, but tell me about your relationship and how you've observed Roman Bürki. Now, you've seen him from afar. Now you've been able to work with him extensively. He's not a coach. I just asked you about Yohan Demay, but sure has seemed like Bürki has been almost like the coach on the field for them.
Yeah, I think, look, you're building out a team. You're trying to create lines of consistency. And I think Roman's been able to keep us in these last two games with outstanding performances. Some of the other things in terms of his distribution and calmness on the ball give us a real chance to break through when we are under pressure. So from a team standpoint, not having to worry about necessarily what's going to happen and for him to come up big in those moments, it does provide a lot of that belief that I'm discussing with the group. And I know that they've been really happy with his performances to get us these points over the last few weeks.
Now, Wednesday night on KMOX, we are going to carry the U.S. Open Cup matchup against FC Tulsa at Energizer Park. This is exciting for us, And I know it's exciting for you. And here's something, Corey, that I think is a reality, that people get so wrapped up in MLS tickets, the MLS schedule, that sometimes these games escape them a little bit. This is a great opportunity to snag a ticket to see your favorite MLS team play in this type of an atmosphere at Energizer Park in a big game.
Yeah, I think, look, there's definitely, first of all, an opportunity to win a trophy. So we're very, very focused on, like I said, being the first to win a trophy for this club and for the fans. And so this is the start of that run. If I'm correct, I think it's about 5 or 6 games to win a trophy. So we're going to put our heads down and give it a real go. And I think for fans to come in and see the group fighting for that, to be a part of hopefully a historic run, obviously presents a great opportunity, because I know tickets are hard to come by for the first team matches.
Yeah, we're excited about it. It's a 7:00 start. That's when our broadcast starts on Wednesday, April 15th, St. Louis City against FC Tulsa in the U.S. Open Cup. KMOX is going to broadcast this. As people probably know, Y98 carries the majority of city broadcasts, if not all of them, but KMOX will get a little bit here, and that is fun for us. And I know that as you've become accustomed to working in that building, how much you appreciate it. That is one of the great venues in this sport, isn't it?
Unbelievable venue. We got a little bit of a grass upgrade as well. They laid some new sod, so it's going to be in pristine condition. So I know the guys are really excited about also being able to play at home. It's been a few weeks, after the New England game and the break. It feels like forever. So our guys are going to be fired up. The coaching staff are excited. I know the players are really excited to go for some silverware. So let's hope that we can get some fans out, enjoy the game, and, hopefully provide a really good result as well.
Yeah, this is a great opportunity for, if you have not been, that's why I bring that up. If you haven't, there are some. If you've not been inside Energizer Park, you will see what you've been missing. It is pristine. I mean, it is one of the great, it's won awards for a reason. It's a phenomenal venue. U.S. Open Cup play begins Wednesday night on KMOX, 7:00 against FC Tulsa. Corey Wray, sporting director for City. It's always a pleasure to visit with you on these Sunday mornings. Let's do it again soon.
Sounds good. Thank you so much for having me.
Absolutely. Congrats on the road point. They got a 1-1 draw last night against Dallas. We'll take a break. The president of baseball operations for the Cardinals, and that would be Chaim Bloom, is going to join us. I almost called him the sporting director. You think he'd like that? Sporting director for the Cardinals? Back in a moment. Sports on a Sunday morning from the Stiefel Sports Studio.
All Access with Ollie Marmol on the Gas House Gang.
You're constantly trying to figure out how to get meaningful information through to the player in a way where they can put it into action. If they can shoot holes in your game or in your information or your delivery, you're done. If you come into those and you're 80% prepared and they can shoot holes in your messaging or in your points that you're trying to make, you lose credibility real quick, and you're not gaining that back anytime soon.
Ollie Marmol, Tuesdays at noon on KMOX.
Here's something I run into a lot with younger homeowners, and happened to be with my little boy. He was looking at purchasing homes. This house had a 20-plus-year-old furnace and air conditioner. And, of course, my advice was never buy a house with that old of an air conditioner. You will be buying a new one. And he goes, well, how much does a new one cost? For his size home, told him figure tens of thousands to over $20,000. If you're looking at a house, my personal opinion is make sure it's a newer unit. If not, request buyers to put in a newer unit. That makes it easier on your 15 or 30-year mortgage if it's included in the loan. Just my piece of advice for that. But if you're hearing this after the fact and you do need a new air conditioner, sorry to hear that, but call me, Bart Inman, one easy number in Missouri and Illinois. The easiest of numbers. It is 314-293-2600 or bartinman.com. God bless.
KMOX Weekend at your service. Sponsored by Air Comfort Service Heating, Cooling, and Installation.
Don't miss the Route 66 Festival at the Missouri History Museum, April 30th through May 3rd. Music from Sweetie and the Toothaches, a classic car show, neon display, kids' crafts, and more. Schedule at mohistory.org/festival.
Pump up the volume.
Business moves fast.
Pump up the volume.
When you ship with USPS Ground Advantage, you can keep up with confidence. Visit USPS.com/groundadvantage to learn more.
There's a new kind of energy at Starbucks. When your day needs a reset, try the all-new energy refreshers. Strawberry acai, mango dragon fruit, or the all-new mango strawberry. The refreshers you love, now with extra caffeine. New energy refreshers only at Starbucks.
Each year in St. Louis, 10 women are recognized for volunteer leadership that changes lives. They support families, strengthen communities, and create opportunities where they're needed most. Join us Tuesday, May 19th at the Ritz-Carlton for the 2026 Women of Achievement Awards Luncheon. Celebrate their impact and be part of a tradition more than 70 years strong. Reservations available at WOASTL.org. For more information, go to KingdomOX.com/events.
Now, back to the Gray Bar Sports on a Sunday morning on 104.1 KMOX. From the Stifel Financial Sports Studio, here is Tom Ackerman.
Welcome back to the show. It's always great to be able to visit with Chaim Bloom. Look at that. We're right on the money at 11:30. My goodness. That is some precise timing. Our producer, James O'Sullivan, is with us. Chaim, how are you? It's good to visit with you. How are things?
I'm good. I noted the time. We're jumping right into it. Some energy this morning. This is good.
That's incredible. So we get a little time here to chat. We're not going to keep you too long because you know it's busy over there. The Red Sox are in town. What is that like for you? That is a former team, and you have the leadoff hitter is a guy that you drafted, and Roman Anthony. I mean, I guess it's just part of the business is that people spend time with different teams.
It is, yeah. And obviously a lot of different feelings. If I were to tell you that it felt like any other series, you probably wouldn't believe me. I am human. There's a lot of different emotions that go on. Enjoyed beating them on Friday for sure. But also really, like you mentioned, there's a number of players that had a hand in bringing over there and both, in and out of uniform, a lot of people that I have really good relationships with and still cherish those relationships. And it's really good to see them. We're all passing through this game, and during the course of the journey in the game, you obviously get the chance, if you want to build a lot of cool relationships. And I have many over there. So that's nice.
Yesterday was quite a day. I mean, Jordan Walker launches a home run, and then what happened in the ninth inning, with the Red Sox piling it on, that was difficult. Let me first start with Jordan, the good stuff. He hits another one, and it's not just the home runs. You can just see it. His recognition of pitches. It's remarkable how quickly he's turned this around.
Yeah, I'm proud of him and just happy for him because like we've talked about literally all off season and through spring training, the work has been there throughout. And I'm also very appreciative to Ollie and our staff for just never wavering and just having his back with this because of how he was going about it and because of the belief in the work. And, we've talked about this. Like, I think anybody who tells you they saw this coming, I don't believe them. But that's why you put in the work, and that's why you stick with the process, is to give yourself a chance to achieve this. Now, like I've also said, like if we're to sit here and say, hey, we fixed it, we're good. Well, that's not how this works either. This is going to continue to be a process. The thing that's coolest about this is that Jordan's just, looking forward, and he's not getting too caught up, just like he did not allow some of the struggles to defeat him. He's not getting too caught up in where he's at now, and he continues to put in the work. And knowing that this is a game of streaks and slumps, it's a game of failure. And so you better keep consistent with your routine so you can get through that and just go out and have a nice career. And hopefully he's on his way to doing just that.
Kyle Leahy started this game. He went 4 innings, gave up only 3 hits, but he walked 3, 2 runs, and struck out 2 through 71 pitches. So you're going to have to turn it over to the bullpen and ask a lot of them. Gordon Graceffo comes in 2 1/3 scoreless innings, Chaim. And then not to mention Justin Brule got himself out of quite the jam there with the bases loaded.
Yeah, until obviously that 9th inning, it was really good work by the pen. And, for as much as it was kind of clear that it was not really Kyle's best night and he probably wasn't feeling his best, and there's going to be some of those over the course of the season, he ground through it and managed to hold them at bay to where we had a ball game and we had plenty of chances to win that game. And then, like you said, the bullpen did an amazing job right up until the very end.
And what do you make of Swanson right now? I mean, there were a lot of expectations for him, whether that was fair or not. He was slotted in there. Some believed he should have been the closer. I mean, so this is this has been a lot to take in right now. Swanson was out there just giving up hit after hit.
Yeah, it's, again, this is, on some level, this is part of the game in that, like you said, the expectations are there for a reason. I mean, this guy is arguably our best reliever from when he came up last year and stuck. And, just like we might not have seen coming, this explosion we've seen from Jordan in the early going, I don't think we saw this coming, but it's something we're going to have to battle through and fix. And like, when I say it's part of the game, that doesn't mean we just sit there and wait for it to turn. You got to work at it. You got to pop the hood and really see what's going on there. And while you're doing that, make sure you keep the player in a good headspace. Matt's a pretty even-keeled guy, so I think he's going to take this in stride. But at the same time, we want to make sure, and there's a couple things that we've looked at behind the scenes, a couple mechanical things that we're trying to address that hopefully will allow him both to execute pitches more consistently and not just from a stuff perspective, but also from a command perspective. Because obviously, like you look at that ninth inning, you open the inning with a 4-pitch walk. That's not who he has been. He's always been a guy that you could rely on to pound the strike zone. So when he's not doing that, that tells you that something's off, and we're going to keep working at it because we know what he looks like when he's good.
Chaim, Bernie asked Ollie on the Gas House Gang last week, does he need to go to Memphis to fix some things? And Ollie said no. I mean, is that something that can be fixed up here at this level?
It certainly can. That isn't something we've talked about to this point. Obviously, you never take any options off the table, but that's not to say that that's where we think this is going, because, we do have confidence that this is something that can be addressed and that you can get through. And hopefully we're looking back later in the summer and this was just a blip. Obviously, because of, how much we wanted to be able to lean on him, it's been tough working through that. But, even last night, he was in the game the inning before and looked really good and looked encouraging. And then it kind of ran away from him. Granted, obviously there were some things in the ninth in terms of balls in play. There's a very easy way that inning could have been over much sooner than it was, just with a couple different things happening defensively. But at the same time, obviously there were some hard hit balls, and that's not where he is when he's at his best. So it's something we'll keep working at.
And then we got to talk about a couple of more good things with this bullpen. The guy who is closing looks dynamite, and Riley O'Brien. He has some pitches that are darn near unhittable. Not to mention, the guy who's starting to climb a little bit is the player that you acquired in George Soriano. You and I did an event this past week with Bank of America where you really went in depth for them, which I appreciated, on a player like that and how you start to identify pitchers that you might be able to tweak and get something in your favor. And that's happened with Soriano.
Yeah, that's been really cool. And by no means are we declaring victory on this one. The game is harder than that, but it has been nice to see some early returns for our group, our whole team here, executing on a process that we talked about wanting to do more of, and something that I think we're better set up to do now than we would have been a year or two ago in terms of being able to identify a type of player, not just see past the stats to what is, which we felt even as is, he was a better pitcher than what those stats looked like last year, but see further into what could be, and not just daydreaming, but with a real plan of, okay, if we had this guy, we could try X, Y, and Z, and we could get that slider to a gyro shape, something that could be better against lefties. And, we could distinguish those two breaking balls where there was kind of muddy. He had shown the ability to throw a sweeper, which is a better pitch against right-handers, and shown some flashes of being able to throw a gyro slider. And there were also some things we were able to slow down and see in terms of seam orientation and how he was holding the baseball on a couple of his pitches where we saw some upside to make them better. Now, you don't know until you get a player if the player has the willingness and the aptitude to do that. And of course, if your coaching staff is going to be able to execute on that. But we had a plan and we had some belief in that plan. And so we stuck our necks out there a little bit to get him at the beginning of spring training to give us time to execute on that, knowing this is a player who's out of options. You can't send him to the minor leagues to go work on these things. So you want to be able to work on them during spring training as opposed to trying to do that on the fly in season to give yourself a better chance of success. And again, there's no guarantees in this. There will be ups and downs, but it's just nice in the early going to have had that plan, been able to execute on it, and now see some early rewards. Happy for him. He's been great to have as a part of this group, and also very pleased with the collaboration between our folks in uniform and our folks on the acquisition side to go out and get this guy with a plan and then put it into action.
Chaim, there are a lot of questions about catcher. You have Herrera catching today with Palante, which seems to be a nice match between those two. Pages, Pozo doesn't get a lot, but Pages has been maybe not himself so far. Now, this is part of the reason fans are clamoring for Jimmy Crooks is he got off to a very hot start. I note that he was 0 for 4 with a couple of strikeouts yesterday, maybe cooled off a touch. But how do you observe that situation right now? The temptation of fans to bring Crooks in and try to make a difference with this growing team.
Well, I like that it's a topic because it means that Jimmy, who is a player we think very highly of, is off to a good start and putting some pressure on our guys in the big leagues and on us to make sure we're noticing him. And that's a good thing. That's exactly what you want to see. I also think it's important to remember it's so early in the season, and usually if you react this quickly to things that are going on and you change what your plan was going in, you're probably being a little trigger happy and you're probably moving a little too quickly. But I'd much rather it be a topic from a standpoint of where Jimmy's at, obviously, and not necessarily where Pedro's at, because we know he's a better defender than some of the things that have gone on in the early going. I'm confident that will round in his shape. But, at the same time, we talked about, I think you and I talked about it last week, that we're blessed with a lot of catching talent in the minor leagues. And, it starts with Jimmy, who has been at this level and is probably the closest, but we got other guys behind him. That's awesome. It's great to have competition. We want that competition to push our players at this level and hopefully bring the best out in them. And I hope from Jimmy's standpoint that it continues to be a topic. We obviously, like I said, think highly of him. There's a ton of upside there. So if he continues to put pressure on us, hopefully it'll give us some tough decisions. And for sure, we're going to keep monitoring it and we see what he is doing.
I mean, Velazquez, if you had listened to everybody, Velazquez would have been your starting left fielder. As we see, he's had a little bit of a cool period here to start. And that doesn't mean he can't catch fire. But I guess that would be an example of what you're talking about. Stay with the plan and trust it.
Exactly. Well, I thought you might give me a hard time and say, well, how do you know you didn't demotivate him by sending him to Memphis after such a good spring? But it is exactly why you kind of have to let this unfold over time and let the season breathe. Again, that doesn't mean we're being passive and just sitting back and waiting for things to happen. It just means you want to have some discipline in terms of sticking to a process, sticking to the bigger body of evidence. And, there always is, it's not just science. There's some art to figuring out, when you flip that switch, when you need to make a move. But, like I said at the time with Nelson, we loved what he did in the spring, and I'm confident he's going to do better than the start he's off to at Memphis. Just felt like there was merit in keeping all of our players and letting some of these guys go out and do some different things to start the season. And, they're still all here, and we're still going to watch this unfold and make sure we're working to get the best out of each and every one of them.
Chaim, thanks for answering questions about your team. We always appreciate the visits. It's 11:42. We kept you for 12 minutes. That's a little overtime, but it is much appreciated.
It flew by. Time flies when you're having fun. All good. Hopefully we continue to have fun this afternoon here at Busch.
Have a great day today, and good luck winning in series.
Thank you.
Chaim Bloom with us, Cardinals president of baseball operations. We're going to come back. Bernie Miklas will join us, as he always does, to wrap up the show. This is Sports on a Sunday morning from the Stiefel Sports Studio.
Ready to hit a home run with your backyard? Call Artistic Decks. We're celebrating 25 years of A-plus service with massive rollback pricing. Get a professional custom-built deck for less. Hit it out of the park with Artistic Decks. Call 314-280-0821 today.
This is the story of the one. As a procurement manager for a hospital system, she keeps every facility in her network stocked and ready. That's why she counts on Grainger to be her single source for thousands of products, from disinfectants to lighting, air filters, and more. And with fast, dependable delivery, Grainger helps her keep every facility stocked, safe, and running smoothly. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
At Audion Hearing, our mission is simple: to make better hearing affordable for everyone. We're proud to offer high-quality, rechargeable hearing aids starting at just $98. Clear, comfortable, and ready to use right out of the box. And here's a study worth hearing. Research shows that wearing hearing aids can reduce your risk of dementia by up to 61%. Join over 1 million happy customers and hear the difference today by going to audionhearing.com. That's AUDIEN hearing.com.
My name is Christine, and I'm a widow. My husband, Ryan, was a healthy 34-year-old, and 3 months later, he was gone. Thankfully, he had life insurance. Ethos made it so easy. You can get a quote in seconds, apply in minutes, and get same-day coverage. 100% online, no medical exam. Life insurance didn't take away the loss, but it did give us the space to just grieve.
Get your free quote at ethos.com/protect. ethos.com/protect. Paid spokesperson. Time spent on application may vary. Online health questions required.
Save big money on everything at Menards. Brighten up your garage or workspace with a 6,000 lumen 3-panel LED light from GT Light. It's over 7 times brighter than traditional incandescent light bulbs and features 3 adjustable panels, allowing you to shine light where you need it most. Save big on GT Light LED utility bulbs. Plus, check out our weekly flyer on Menards.com for more great deals happening now.
Save big money at Menards.
This is Megan Lynch. 250 doctors go to Ophthalmology Associates. That's why I trust them. Ophthalmology Associates, 314-966-5000 or youridoc.com.
Glover here for my friends at Cantor Injury Law. Cantor is local, and we're here doing the work every day. We're right here in St. Louis, and we're ready to fight for you. CantorInjuryLaw.com or call 314-628-9999.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be solely based on advertisements.
Tom Ackerman for Circa Sports. You know, I was just talking about the Circa Sports parlay of the day, and that was enjoyable because I got to see Justin Rose make me look really good. Now, he hasn't finished the deal yet, but that was kind of fun. I really believe that you're going to enjoy the new Circa Sports app. There are a few reasons for that. One is it's very easy to use. Just go to circasports.com or check out the Circa Sports app. It's on your phone. It's on your device. It is very, very simple to use. I think that's been one of the not surprising things, one of the pleasant things for me about using the Circa Sports app. It is very fan friendly. It's very player friendly. Now, the other thing about circasports.com, again, is how you find it, is the fact that the betting limits. So whether you're looking for playoff futures or props, player-friendly pricing, high betting limits, exceptional customer service. This is why I say sports betting the way it should be. Circa Sports isn't just sports betting. It's how it should be done. So again, playoff futures, we have hockey coming up. We have basketball coming up, baseball all year. Your favorite players, props, Circa Sports has you covered. Download the Circa Sports app or visit circasports.com today. Must be 21 or older. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Now, back to the Gray Bar Sports on a Sunday morning on 104.1 KMOX. From the Stifel Financial Sports Studio, here is Tom Ackerman.
All right, let's go. 10 minutes with my buddy Bernie Miklas joining us. He's sponsored by Saliga Heating and Cooling and Stewart's American Mortgage. I love this show so much, and I love that we get to wrap it up with Bernie. What's going on, buddy?
Good. And a particularly outstanding edition of Sports on a Sunday Morning hosted by Tom Ackerman. Yeah.
Thanks.
I'm doing good, man. I'm going to watch Cardinals baseball. I'm going to have another monitor watching the Masters. So I'm good to go. This is a great day.
Yeah, this is just big smile on my face Sunday. I just love Masters Sunday. It's going to be awesome. And I do appreciate what the Cardinals are doing. Now, let me get right to it. I did not like last night. That is not fun to watch Matt Swanson just sit out there and get pummeled. You heard what Chaim Bloom had to say about the situation. That's not something they've considered, is to send him to Memphis. They think they can get it done here. How do you view the whole situation with Swanson?
I understand their patience from the standpoint that there's only really one thing glaringly wrong with him, which is like his sinker, which was statistically was one of the very best in the major leagues last year. His sinker was incredible. He allowed like a 157 batting average, very small slugging percentage. If you look at his sinker this year, they're hitting 480 against it with a slug over 600, and he's not getting any swing. He's not getting many swings and misses. So that sinker, for whatever reason, is broken. And I know that they feel that they can fix it, and they have been trying to fix it. And every now and then, like in Washington the other day, the sinker looked much, much better. So you think, okay, all right, he's on it. He's getting some momentum now. And then it falls apart again. I don't know what the answer is. I mean, it is kind of a reset season, rebuild season, whatever you want to call it. So I think they're going to be extra patient. But Tom, in his, in the games, the relief appearances he's made in their losses this season, Swanson's ERA is just under 17. And it kind of reflects the bullpen in general. The Cardinals bullpen in their 8 wins has got a 2.14 ERA, but in their 6 losses, the bullpen collectively, their ERA is 9.64. So it's the proverbial night and day, right? They've got to find a way to just get more consistency. Swanson at the top of the list, but with some others.
Yeah, and I guess you can't start going to the well on April 12th in the minor leagues. I mean, there's a reason you put those players in the minor leagues. They weren't good enough to cut it, although Graceffo came in and certainly showed that he's worthy of being here. It's interesting. I'll be interested to see where they go from here with the bullpen. By the way, just confirmed on that topic, on Tuesday when we do the Gas House Gang with Ollie Marmol, it's going to be you, me, Ollie, and Chris Ranji until 12:30. Joining us at 12:30 will be assistant GM Rob Cerfolio. And we're going to wrap up the second part of the show with him, which I think will be really interesting to dig into the minors and see what they have down there.
Absolutely. Listen, Chaim Bloom deserves a lot of credit for many, many things. He's done a phenomenal job in a very short time with every layer of the baseball operation, including player development and the minors. But I have to say, one of the most exciting things he's done, I would put it near the top of the list, if not at the top of the list. Like his first key hire was Rob Cerfolio. And I got some calls from some people who really know kind of who everyone is in baseball. And they said, I know you never heard of him, but Rob Cerfolio, that is a massive get for the St. Louis Cardinals, because Cleveland has, for years and years, have had pitchers that overachieve where you don't expect much, and all of a sudden they're great. And also true on the offensive side, but particularly the pitching side. He has been able to take pitchers from a mediocre level, average level, to an above average level or a great level. He's got a great eye and intelligence for that. So they are in such great shape now, compared to where they were before this regime change, where just the brain power in this baseball operation, Chaim Bloom has doubled the size of the baseball operation and the physical performance department if you put all that together. And Bill DeWitt Jr. gets a lot of credit for that. But see, that's one of the reasons, Tom, I think it's okay to be patient with Matt Swanson. It's tough to watch. And I was one of the people hollering that he should have been the closer this year. Well, I guess I'm 0-1. My record's 0-1 on that one so far. But I think these people are so really good about turning pitchers around that's another reason to stay patient, because they have a track record of doing very well in that area.
They do. And, how do you view right now the catching situation? I want to get your thoughts on that. Pius does not, as I mentioned to Chaim, does not look like himself. Pozo yesterday pops one up in a situation where they needed something there. He's been a reliable pinch hitter for them. He has not come through so far. Hasn't had a ton of chances, I guess. Herrera, we know, is a work in progress behind the plate. Hasn't really exploded offensively yet. The temptation to go get Crooks. What do you think?
Well, I got mixed feelings on it, and I know that's not a good answer. I'm supposed to have a hot take or whatever, but
yeah, no, this is a reasonable radio show. We
right.
we just discuss things.
Listen, I me, dude. I'll go turn over some dirt and kind of look underneath the surface. The thing about Crooks, my gosh, his surface numbers are great, and maybe that's all that matters. His surface numbers are great, right? But if you go beneath the surface a little bit, you see a lot of swing and miss, and you see a lot of strikeouts. And so I'm trying to read Chaim Bloom's mind. Maybe that's the way to put it. I'm trying to anticipate like what they're thinking once you get to know what they're looking at. And a very, very, very big thing with Chaim Bloom and his staff is contact skills. One of their objectives is reduce the amount of swing and miss, reduce the amount of strikeouts. So by knowing what they want or what they're trying to change going forward, it does make sense. If you look at a Jimmy Crooks, or they look at a Jimmy Crooks, and they see way too much swing and miss and too much strikeouts, because that's exactly what they're trying to avoid. And it might tell them that he needs more time in Memphis to where he starts to become, his contact skills go up, his swing and miss stuff goes down. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, absolutely. And, now we see, is there any, I just don't see anybody in the minors right now that I think is going to jumpstart the offense. I think the guys just have to get it done.
Yeah, a guy like Brian Torres has looked really good down there. He's not a power guy, but he hits for average. He's got speed. He's got a high on base percentage. But I don't think they're, hurrying up to put him in the majors. A guy that continues to do well very quietly is Cesar Prieto, the infielder. I heard you talking to High with Nelson Velasquez. He's starting to hit a little bit, but at this point, he's got to start to hit a lot more before he's a factor. But the Cardinals really need to get some guys going, to your point. Like Ivan Herrera has been very disappointing offensively, other than the fact he draws walks, which is good. But the power hasn't been there at all. We know Mason Wynn has struggled terribly. Injuries have been an issue. Victor Scott's small ball game is really good, but the rest of his game offensively, there's just not much there. Nathan Church, huge home run in DC the other night, but Nathan Church hasn't hit. I love JJ Weatherholt. Who doesn't? But you'd like to see a little more impact from him, maybe some doubles, a little bit more slug. But hey, he keeps getting on base and his on base percentage is high. So I'm not going to pick on him, but there's just a few people that really have to get this thing going. If you look at the last week, Jordan Walker, for example, that he's had a 5 home run week. The rest of the team combined has hit 2 home runs. Yeah. There's nobody hitting for power other than Jordan Walker right now. And that's something that is going to be really harmful to them, because listen, we all want Jordan Walker to keep this up, but it's also unrealistic to expect him to hit home runs as frequently as he is and do that all season. At some point he's going to go through times where he won't hit a home run for 4 days or 5 days or whatever. That's just baseball, right? Mm-hmm. So some other people need to start to hit the ball out of the ballpark. I think Jordan Walker's kind of covering for that right now, but can't expect him to do it by himself.
Bernie, have a great rest of your Sunday. We appreciate you very much. Thank you for being with us on Sports on a Sunday Morning.
I love being with you, Tom. Thank you very much.
Thanks, buddy. Cards and Red Sox coming up after the news.
The pressure on data centers has never been greater. Whether you're expanding capacity, supporting AI workloads, or building new facilities, Graybar works alongside you with the solutions, specialists, and logistics expertise you need today. We help you power performance every step of the way, so your operation is ready now. Yep, Graybar does that.